today's session is very much on hearing the experience of different educators, how they run their education business. Yeah, because in fact, this year many ways to run. The old models are having go to students' places or set up a center. Yeah, these are the things that I learned in the past. Then later when COVID hit, Zoom became popular. And then after COVID died down, people are more open to online classes as well as possibly hybrid. Yeah, I think that's also when hybrid was born, whereby the educator can run a class with students physically in the classroom as well as having a big monitor in front of him, seeing students who have logged in Zoom. All right. So today we have the companionship of many educators. I think all of us add up our years of teaching experience, probably about 200. Who here has taught more than 10 years? 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. Okay, less than 10 years, so about 100 plus years up to 200. Let's put 200 to make it more impressive. All right, so today's session is more on freestyle. And of course, if I may, to make it more organized, I will just call you out. Yeah. Introduce yourself, what you do, and where are your classes. And then after that, then stop for a while. Then we'll go around. The second round will be, how do you get students? Okay, all right. Okay, sure. Okay, hands up if you don't mind sharing already. You're ready to share, like who you are. Okay, Jayce. Yeah, our youngest people here. Come, let's go. Come, Jayce. Yeah, welcome, Jayce. Unmute.
Hey, hello everyone, and I do self-introduction because later 12 o'clock I have to go out and buy lunch for my children. They are coming back from school later.
Father's duty.
Yeah, so my biggest known secret actually is that I actually have 6 children.
And is there one on the way?
No more on the way. Yeah, but the age range of my children is from my eldest just turned 21 last year, and then my youngest actually started P1, so he's 6. Yeah, so that is the range of my children. So in between them, the gaps are about 2-3 years. Yeah, so I actually have 2 boys and 4 girls. Yeah, so that's my family background. Okay, but in terms of my professional growth, how I came to where I am today, I actually was teaching at 2 different MOE schools for a total of about 8 years. My first one was with them about 6 years, and then my second one was with them for 2 years. Okay, but I had a growth spurt when I went to Melbourne to pursue my master's in education. So after my 8 years in the 2 different MOE schools, I actually left teaching and went to Melbourne to do the master's in education for 1 year. And then when I came back, that's when I joined different tuition centers for about 2 years first. So some of the big ones that have been around, I was with them. So I actually got to see how they develop their whole structure and their different teams and how they work together to develop their curriculum and how they actually got in students. So then I started on my own in 2017. So it's almost 9 years. This is 9th year already. So when I started, I actually didn't start at the beginning of the year. I started somewhere around, I'll say March. Yeah. So by the time the student intake was not supposed to be a good upturn, it's supposed to be a downturn in around March. But somehow when I started, I got to do some parents workshop. And then from the parents workshop, I actually got some classes started. While at the same time, 60% of it is still one-to-one. So I had 40% of the group classes, and then the other 60% of the time is still one-to-one. So that's when I slowly grew and I started to rent classrooms because I know that I didn't have much financial capital to rent a classroom. So I started renting classrooms and I started teaching. And the interesting thing was I actually had different places to conduct classrooms. In fact, I stay in the East, but there was one parent during the parents workshop, and then after that, the child joined my holiday class. The parent was so happy that the child was learning well under me, even to the holiday class, that the parent actually requested whether I can start a class in Jurong East. Yeah, so when that happened, that's when I actually started a class in Jurong East, and from Jurong East, the one class, I actually had 2 classes. And then that happened for a while until COVID hit. So my model when I started was just renting classrooms. So I usually, the class one location for 1 day. So I just stayed at 1 day at that location and teach classes there. Before the next day, then I moved to another classroom. So at the time before COVID, I actually had the Jurong East, Tampines, Vina, and meeting. Yeah, quite a few places, about four places. So I had 4 different days. And even on Saturday, Saturday was the one that was the hectic one. So Saturday morning, I had 2 classes that I was at the afternoon. I go back home for a quick lunch, and then I drive over to Jurong East and I have 2 more classes at Jurong East. Yeah, so that's how I actually started. Of course, when COVID hit, I shifted to Zoom. For me, it was quite easy because I'm already a relatively tech-savvy guy. Because in many schools, I was in the IT department also. So I was going through quite a lot of IT stuff together with the IT department. So that's when for me to do Zoom, it was relatively easy. So I quickly pivoted all my classes to Zoom. And I actually continued the Zoom classes for 2 years. Even though the government relaxed the restrictions, but I actually did it for 2 years. Online Zoom classes purely for 2 years before I started slowly opening back my physical class. So as of now, I actually have 3 physical class. So my online class, I still have it 50%. So my one-to-one, I already gave up quite some years back and pivoted all to group classes. So now I have a Tuesday on my online class. Then Wednesday is Parkway. So today, later I'll be going Parkway for my classes. Then Thursday is at the Novoven, and then Friday at Japanese, and then Saturday is now like fully online class also. Yeah, so that's my current model now. Yeah, so that's generally my journey of going from full-time MOE teacher to now a full-time tutor. Yeah, so I have my own company, Learning Private Limited. On my social media, I'm known as SG. So if you go on Facebook, you find me under SG, my Instagram and TikTok also. Yeah,
Okay,
so that's
thanks.
my brief. Yeah,
Got it.
I think that's more or less, let's say, but I'm of course open to questions.
Sure. Thanks so much. Okay, I think so the first part is we'll go around and you all will share about your journey. And I think what I like what Jayce shared was he actually has many turning points. Yeah, from one-on-one, then later when he went to one-to-one, someone asked for a group class, but it happens to be on the other side of Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I like about this is you, instead of saying no, you embrace it. Then later on, that's how your business model takes shape because of the opportunities that came along. Yeah. But that doesn't stop you from pivoting again. Then COVID hit, then Zoom for 2 years. Then later go on like having a mixture of online classes as well as the physical classes. So what I want to share here is I think our pivoting journey, it never stops. And probably as we get wiser, we will pivot again based on our own needs as is of our life. Yeah. Okay, thanks so much, Jay. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll try to stick the sharing to the tutor's journey as well as then lead gen. And then we try to keep it as compact as possible. Otherwise, later the whole sharing will be very long. Yeah. Okay, Jay, so later you get ready to share how you generate leads. Yeah. Okay, anybody else wants to be next? Just spend about 2 or 3 minutes, needs 5 minutes max to share how you started off. You can be as specific as you can if you want. Or Carlyn. Well done, Carlyn. Let's go.
Okay, so my name is Carlyn. I'm teaching science at East Coast Road. I started as a one-to-one tutor also. So when I started teaching when I was in poly, actually, it was good part-time income. Then after that, I became like a camp instructor. So like those that we bring school students out for camp, something similar to OBS kind of thing. Then after the camp instructor job, it was fun. That job showed me that I really enjoy like working around like students and kids. But after that job, also made me think that, hey, in long term, I need to earn like more money kind of thing. So that was why I actually transited to like sales job for a very short 1 year. In fact, I was selling insurance for a very short 1 year. And that 1 year also, I was like, okay, sales job really not for me. So that's where I came back to teaching tuition again. And that was actually during the COVID period also. So I came back teaching again. I was teaching one-to-one when I just came back from like the sales job. Then after that, I knew that time is limited. So if I really want to reach out to more students, I actually need to transit to group class. And I was very fortunate to know someone that was in center. Then he actually has an additional room to rent out. So that's why I went down to Parkway to share the space with him. And I was there for 2-3 years. So end of last year, then I actually moved out of the Parkway Center area. I went to opposite the Flow Mall, somewhere near Roxy, along West Coast Road, and I have my own center now.
Anything else you want to add in, Carlyn? Okay, so how does it feel when you have your own center now?
Having own center is exciting because like you really get to choose. You really get to make the whole place, like you decorate the space as if like it's really yours kind of thing. Compared to the previous space, it was more okay, it's a temporary one. I don't think I'm going to stay here for long. So that's why it gets quite complicated. And that's where I chose to move out. So it was fun, it's exciting. But at the same time, of course, there's also the stress because if I don't rent the space, I think I'm earning a lot more in my pocket right now. I was telling people, if I don't rent that space, I think last year I could have gone Europe. But thanks to the space. But then again, it's still very exciting to see how that space will turn out in a few years.
Got it. Thanks so much for sharing. And somehow when you share that, it reminded me of having the difference between when you have your home versus staying with your in-laws. Yeah, I can see some smiles. Okay, thanks, Carlyn. Okay, so get ready. After that second round, share how you generate your leads at the initial phase now. Sure. Okay, thanks, David.
So you all want to know what my journey is?
Journey as well as the model.
So maybe I
Thank
share
you.
my journey all the way from beginning. I didn't grow up wanting to be a tutor, to be honest. But what happened is that in primary school, right, I always got full marks for maths consistently.
Smart guy.
Then I don't know you call it smart or not smart. Last time the syllabus is super easy. I think all of you can agree. So long you pay attention a little bit in class, you can score full marks. So in fact, effortlessly, to be honest. Yeah. Then because I always got full marks, then I was a teacher's pet in school throughout my primary school life. Yeah, for maths and Chinese, actually most of the subjects I'm a teacher's pet. Then my classmates, some of them are pretty smart also, in the sense that they, like after school, they'll call me and ask me, hey, this best question, I don't know how to do. Can teach me? That guy, he's not stupid one. He's quite smart also. Then I'll teach him how to do. But when I teach him, I don't teach him. I actually do for him. Because I don't know how to teach at that time. I don't do for him. Do already. Then he used my answer as homework. So he's quite smart in a way. Then after that, I discovered that over time, I love teaching my classmates. Then primary school teacher would run remedial class for those who fail maths one. And she'll ask me, David, can you help me to coach those students? Then I was thinking, okay, then I help. Then I help. Then I realized, the more I help, the more fulfillment I have in helping some of my classmates scoring from failing to maybe borderline pass, because that time not so good in teaching. Then after that, continue. Then secondary school, same thing happened again. Secondary school was max. Because secondary school, my A-max teacher also same thing asked me whether I want to coach those students. I score the second highest in the whole school, but the highest in class. Because A class got one guy score 100, I scored 93. Then the teacher asked me, can I help her in coaching the A-max student? Because my school have a reputation of 100% pass for E-max, physics, chemistry, bio, and 90% distinction in my school last time. Then my teacher last time, she always tell the student, those who fail A-max one, to drop A-max. She's very last time. But for me, I can understand the difficulty in A-max because very abstract. The trigo never hear before, log, moving by. Then I understand because I bother to go and read the textbook myself and try to understand from there. I'm more hardworking kind of student last time. Then my classmates all want to play a full one. I don't know why, but some are hardworking. Then after that, I coached some of them. One of them from F9, coach he got A1.
Oh.
That was my first time I felt like a sense of achievement. Wow, I make a difference in that classmate life. From F9, school asked him drop A-max, so he give up on him. Then I encouraged him along the way. Eventually he scored A1 for O-level. He was very happy. Then he went Jayce. Then I was happy for him. Then after that, poly same thing happened. This was engineering max because they see, hey, this David, how come his max can do? Actually, behind the scene, I study very hard one. I let you all know I'm not a genius okay. I put in a lot of hours, do those tutorial, pass the paper, go in advance, go here, teacher, things like that. Because the material is all them. You got a textbook, just go and study yourself. Then I go and do myself. That's what I did. That's why I'm better than them. Not because I'm smart, because I put in more hard work. Then my poly classmate, they also same thing, asked me to help them. Then I help them again. Then poly also got distinction for max. Because poly engineering max distinction is top 5%. Then my cohort got 80 students only, top 5% only for students. That means the top 4 in the whole poly. I was like, wow, okay. Then to me at that time, it didn't occur to me I want to give tuition. That's my career.
You started then when you get your next students.
Okay, throughout my study life, right, primary school, secondary school, poly, it's just that me helping my classmates voluntarily, no money attachment, just help them. Then through that, I find I love helping them. Wow, from fail can become A1. I got one card that was in secondary school. After many years of teaching students, somehow I get the technique of helping students one-on-one. Yeah. Then after that, in poly, I went NTU. Okay. Then in NTU, same thing, but I was very slack, to be honest. Then NTU, because there's a lot of those students than me, to be honest, especially those poly one, because half the class is in NTU, to be honest. Then they are all smarter than me, all result better than me. Most of the tutorial mates will ask them instead of me, things like that. But then in uni, my maths still okay, then my electronics still okay. But after I graduate from NTU, shortly I went overseas. This exchange did overseas, then continued my overseas graduate. I did my master's there. Another thing is in UNSW, I conducted tutorial class also for engineering. Then that was my first proper teaching experience as a postgraduate. Then that one is more to serve those first year engineering students in their first year common engine, then teach them engineering for volunteer work. Because I joined a club, right, where they gather Singaporean student or somebody, they struggle in, then I'll come in to bridge the gap for them. That's what I did while I was a postgraduate for a short while. Right now, my model is one-on-one mostly. I got class also, but the class is at my place.
Your place, got it.
Yeah.
So your model is one-on-one. Do you go to the student's place now, or is it online?
Online also have, go student place also have. They come also have.
Hi everyone, I'm Josephine, or you can call me Jo for short. My students will call me Teacher Jo. I know there's another Teacher Jo, but that's not me, that's a different one. Basically, I'm a trained ex-MOE teacher because I have to juggle my family as well. I don't have a helper, so I have to keep things simple. So what I do is, my more successful way of getting students is actually by referral. I've tried a few methods, but word of mouth is actually the best for me. I've actually been approached by people since I started teaching when I was in poly, basically to fund my own expenses. So I have to work a bit to help myself. I should say my tutoring starts from secondary school, when I got pulled in by my teacher to actually help some of the weaker ones in my class unknowingly. That time was just like help group. Then I didn't think much about it until poly. Then I just thought maybe I can use that to help me with science. Fast forward onwards, I was actually a trained engineer before I decided to step down to go to teaching, which is my last resort. Because ultimately, I want to do tutoring as my backup plan. Because definitely, as we have families and stuff, and we don't have enough manpower, tuition is one way for me to earn income. So from there, in 2 government schools before, and my students actually did very well. But because of a health issue, I had step away from school. And also partly because there's nobody to help me look after my kid. So fast forward from then, I was doing one-to-one. 6 months later, after I had my baby, I resumed. So you can imagine it's very hard. I have to juggle looking after a baby and house. So I managed to pull through. And some of my clients are nice enough to let me, because I'm doing one-to-one, some of them are nice enough to let me bring my kid with me. So my kid will do her work inside, and then I will just teach the students. Thank you for very supportive parents. Then some of them actually want me to start group. But because my kid was very young, I really had no help. So I can't. So I'm still one-to-one. Then with COVID, I started having online lessons, but it's still one-to-one because a lot of my students are pretty unique when they first approach. The kind that is literally die the kind. So I do my magic, then get them up. So that's when some of them, I'm still doing online lessons with them, and then half online lesson, at the same time I go to their place. But because my girl is growing up, So I'm thinking of developing and branching into having online group classes. But because I'm very new to this, so there's still a lot of things for me to read on, study up, figure out. So partly because I'm a very basic kind of tutor, because I have limited time.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Yeah,
Mm.
actually, for those who knows one of our students who left, because she's doing very well now. She started off one-on-one in 2024. Now she has formed her group classes. So she doesn't run ads. Right now, she has 78 group students. If you count each kid, it's $300. That's 21K. Yeah. Right. Okay, thanks, Joe. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Who's next?
So my background is very similar. I'm an engineer. I actually I didn't want to be a tutor, and I wanted to be a forensic chemist. Then when life go on and life decision changes, I wanted to work in the pharma industry as a corporate, and realized that at the secondary school days, I was doing very well for math actually, and I was helping all my peers in their math. And I think that when I started working as an engineer, I didn't feel that I want to deal with the corporate politics, and I felt that I'm more self-directed rather than listening to a management who tell me a certain instruction that doesn't make sense to me. So hence, last year I started myself as a tutor. I actually started my proper tutoring last year. I started my informal tutoring during my uni days because I just want to earn money. And my student, true story to be told, I met him after 3 years later in the same pharma company. And that sparked me to say that, okay, this is what I wanted as a full-time tutor. So this is how I got in, and along the way I tried to gain more students. I met a lot of rejections, and I think this year I managed to get some referrals, and I think maybe getting some international student referrals. So I'm very happy that I put in this effort last year, and it snowballed to this year actually. Thank you so much.
Nice one, Taisa. So you started off with one-on-one as well.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I
and-
didn't want to be a tutor actually. I wanted to go on as a pharma engineer, exploring different areas like biopharma. But life changes, and I realized that I struggle to gain a position as an engineer in the pharma industry, even though I like it so much. So I decided that I need a backup plan in case it didn't make it, and somehow it worked out.
Gotcha. Okay, show of hands, if let's say you turn back time, right, you didn't expect yourself to end up on this journey of teaching. Joe, Carlyn, Suling was in same sector as me. Jayce was an SF teacher, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I was on social work as well. When I resigned, just to be a stay-at-home dad, I just teach because I have to buy milk powder and diapers. Yeah. So I didn't know that I will be in this journey for 10 years. Okay. All right. Okay. Last one. I want to have more time for lead gen because it's more important for all of you. And the model is just giving you more options and then also hearing the journey of other people. Sometimes probably we are stuck in a season of our life right now. But if you hear the journey and the story of other people, the only thing that's constant is change. We are always evolving. So whatever stuckness you have right now is only temporary. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else? Why don't we do lead gen now? Okay. Back to you, Jayce. How do you start generating leads? Maybe we visit your first few classes, and then also how you get in new students right now.
I think my very first year was, I knew that I have to engage parents. So what I did was I actually did parent workshops. Because I'm very experienced in PSLE science, so I actually did a parents workshop. So I did it at Amapa Library. They have a meeting room up on the second floor. So I actually booked the room with the library facilities. And then I just posted on Facebook. And that's when parents started coming. So of course, some were from friends, then some were from, just pure strangers that came in. Then during the parents workshop, after going through with them, I then advertised my holiday classes, which was the upcoming one that I had planned. And then I got them to see whether they are interested to either come for my holiday class or come for the regular class. Yeah. And thankfully, it was through the parents workshop that I would say that 80 to 90% of them were actually very interested to continue either as the regular class and the holiday class. So that's when my student population actually grew from that. So I find that doing the parents workshop is definitely one of my main ways to actually bring in the initial set of parents. That's why for me, you find that my schedule for the year, I always have my PSLE parents workshop at the beginning of the year. So I just finished one last week, and I'm doing one again in the beginning of March. So I'll always do about 2 of them to bring in the initial group of parents. So that's my usual way. But of course, when COVID hit, I had to switch online. Actually, COVID season was quite good. In fact, when I did my parents workshop, I hit the full capacity of Zoom. That means 100 parents actually came. But of course, the sign-up rate will be lower in terms of Zoom. Somehow, the parents may be drifting in and out, or they may not do so much. Yeah, David asked about how and where do I advertise the parents workshop. Currently, I'm doing it Facebook. So I do run Facebook ads for my parents workshop. And of course, the other one is my email list. So I actually use MailChimp to consolidate my parents. Another way to get the lead generation for the parents in, I actually run a PSLE Science Tips lead generation. So I actually use MailChimp to run a campaign for 7 emails. So 1 email per month. So the parents actually see the email coming in per month. And usually run this at the end of the year when the parents are more or less look out for maybe new tuition to sign up for the next year. So that's also another way. So once the parents come in, I know that they are interested. And this interest group of parents, that's when I will always be putting in my tips, science tips for parents to learn, and also from there also to advertise my other holiday classes, regular classes, and so on. So those are my two main areas of lead generation. Yeah. So then David also asking about, for the sponsored ads. Yeah. So for Facebook, I do run sponsored ads for a period of time. This done. So that's my two main areas. And from there, I usually sell my regular class and holiday classes.
So what I'm hearing is there's a funnel. Yeah, actually, what Jayce just shared, there's a lot of nuance inside. And I think, let me just break it down for everyone here. Doesn't matter where you're from. Jayce actually strategically put PSLE workshop at the beginning of the year. And these are more to target parents, right, Jayce? Yeah. So
because parents are the paymasters.
Yeah. Okay. And the workshops are free or paid to ensure turn up.
I actually run the Trending PSLE Parents workshop. So there is a low cost of $20 to $30 per person. Then for the rest of the year, I actually run free parent sharing, especially before my holiday classes, like my June holiday classes, my September holiday classes. I will always run another parents workshop just 1 month before the holiday classes. So that also serves as another way to get other parents to come in for the holiday classes.
Correct. So the parents workshop in Jan and Feb is paid but low ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why I ask is because I would like all of us to take notes lah. That actually, in fact, I'm also a fan of Science Dad lah. Yeah, so I'm in his email list. In fact, I knew him before COVID, right? Yeah, then I attended your workshop in library as well. Yeah, then I realized that your sister was my ex-classmate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, then actually just to share also, I did collab with Jayce a few times, right?
Yeah.
During just before COVID and during COVID.
Yeah.
So what happened was we actually rent a classroom to share. Then it was announced on Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, then now we have to do Zoom. We have to pivot to Zoom. And my wife actually went down to the training room just to stand there, just in case any parent turn up. Yeah, so those were the days. Yeah. So what I'm sharing here is to generate leads, right? As much as sometimes it's a bit hassle to run ads, do webinar, do previews, get them to come down for free. But I think it's the spirit of doing it because you believe that you are the best as well as you want to value add to the students now. And ultimately, it's your business. So you need to do all these things as part of the business processes. Just anything else to share? Like maybe you can share also from your experience. So if a tutor is starting out or want to generate leads like what you're doing, how should they start?
I guess it is, for me, from my experience, is always getting parents to know you and to trust you. So it's once they are able to hear you and they know that you have a certain amount of caliber, then they will be willing to start with their money to buy your services. Yeah. So it is more of getting yourself out there to be more visible to parents. If you're a new tutor, it's always good to collaborate with a few other, then it's always good that you can maybe do a math and science kind of parents workshop together, or even an English and math kind of tuition. So it's always leveraging on each other that you can help to share the leads. Maybe even, that's why me and John, we did that. So that was one way that we could actually help each other.
Got it. So in essence, it's about showing up in front of parents so that you're the top of mind.
Yeah.
Got it.
Shortcut, unless you have a lot of money, then you pay for ads. But ads, I find that it is not so effective. Yeah, sometimes.
Correct. Yeah. Ads is also another topic. Yeah. You can do products and then they buy you break even at the front end, and then at the back, you upsell with lessons or at least a paid workshops to get your money back. Okay. And then what we can do and sharing. Yeah. And I love to value add back. Okay. Marketing agency wise. Okay. Anybody else plan to share how you generate leads? So at least I know, and I want to give you airtime also. Anybody else want to share with your generating leads? Oh, okay. So you want to share or not? An opportunity for you to share also.
About generating leads.
You have experience doing paid ads, and then winners 25 last year. I think you are in a position to share.
I'll just
give
share.
yourself first.
Well, I'm showing that is my brand logo that I did many years ago, so it hasn't changed. But since I started, I just specialized in English only. So over the years, I've done English with both international and local students. I have no MOE background. I did get my NIE Masters, but my only MOE background is probably enrichment workshops with different centers. So I would say my journey over the past 15 years of tutoring is like really from one-to-one, most of group, and back and forth. But I really have no marketing background until I met John. So last year, like he mentioned, I managed to do 24 workshops. I was listening to Jayce and resonating with him that actually the visibility help in generating leads in a way. I won't say I'm the best right now because I'm still trying to fill my classes, but it's more of an error thing for me. So I will also resonate with Joe a bit because I feel at the end of the day, referral, it works best for me. Parents who have experienced my teaching, the children experienced my teaching, they will pass from word of mouth and everything. So last year, what I did was I tried Instagram advertising for the first time. It was pretty successful, each advertising campaign. And I also think because I launched it at an exam period. Yeah, because the second half of the year is when PSLE, everything was coming in. Each advertising campaign I run, I push a very low amount. Sometimes it's just 20 plus, 30 plus, but I can manage to hit like 400% ROI each time. So it means that my advertising cost is covered each time. Yeah, and that's all I want because I just wanted to experiment and I just wanted to like put myself out there. I would say it's more successful in exam period as compared to maybe now because right now I'm also still doing the lead generation via advertising, but it's really slow. I'm not sure whether because it's the time period, parents are still getting into it. I mean, it's still the start of the year, or maybe some of them have already signed on with others, but I'm taking quite an attitude towards it. Just let it be, see which ads actually work for me and things like that. At the end of the day, I will still say that I prioritize my current students because it's my current students who do referral that really bring in the other students for me. Because I moved house in the past 2 years, I had this parent who, when I was living in Woodlands, actually referred me to her parents group. I think it's probably a quite extensive parents group. So I had students when I moved to the east in Tampines. So she referred to someone who was staying in Tampines, and the parent actually share with some of her friends as well. So that's about it for my generation.
What did you start? Timing is crucial. So the timing to do your lead generation, the timing to do your advertising is really important.
I agree, really.
For the timing, in my experience, is more you want to find time where the buyers buy. Yeah, I think for the tuition industry is before exam, before any test. If you have anything, please add in because we want to value add to all of you. Okay, what about you also have your experience of advertising? I know that you actually work with somebody, right? Is it okay that you can share? How's your experience? How you manage that? And how you make sure that, like how you work it out because the marketing side plus your operation side, how do you all communicate?
Again, like I said, my sample started at space where I've shared with another person, right? So they actually are quite well established already. They have 100 over students. So I started with having like referrals over from their side. That's why I say they really helped me a lot. One thing for sure is I realized that referral students are like, they sign easier. Like you don't need to go keep following up. They will sign and they usually stay longer compared to those that are from like, marketing or stuff like that. I guess it's a trust because like referral, they'll be like, oh, this other center recommended or other teacher recommended, confirm good, something like that lah. Then in between, during those times, I've also tried quite a few paid with mentors. I distributed flyers before. I paid for marketing agency before. So what I'm doing now is actually there are some like people that I know lah. They are like uni undergrads or like poly students, and then they study marketing. So all these people, if you're working with them, you don't expect them to really be able to bring in like thousands of dollars of sales lah. But if you have limited budget, then I think they are like probably a good choice for you to start with. So I work with them and then they'll help me design the ads. They'll help me run the ads and stuff like this. But there will be leads coming in. I'm not very sure how marketing works, but I know like we are talking about things like, for example, quality leads and stuff like this. So there are leads coming in and it really depends on who I'm working with. So some can give me quite good leads, but I don't think I'm following up enough. So that's on my, so that's one that I'm doing right now. Yeah, and then I also have other friends that actually can help me with editing of TikTok videos. So, for example, now we are overseas, so I think a lot of us already learned how to use like green screen to do the TikTok videos. Yeah, so these are the videos that are on my phone. But if I have the more complicated ones, like for example, if I bring the students out for learning journey, then there are a lot of like photos. So there are times where I bring them out there, I really hire like more professional people to come in and take photos, right? Because I want it to be used as marketing. So then these are the images and videos that I'll send it to like my friends. I pay them like per video. I think that's all.
Thanks, Carlyn. I realized after I known you for a few months, you are very good in getting help. You have your own network to tap on. Yeah. So Carlyn, she's very young.
So all I can say is I still feel that let the do what they are good at. Then for us, we spend our time to improve what we are good at, which is like our teaching quality. Then we spend our time on ourselves. Okay, I see questions right now.
Okay, so let me just add on. Actually, I learned a lot from what Carlyn shared and also how she does things. She get a lot of help. And I think something that we should model after her. There's no need for you to do everything by yourself. You can get friends. If you don't ask people whether she knows anyone who can help, get interns in as well. Then it's like getting a part-timer. Then if you think that they can be upgraded to full-timer, do full-time content for you, it'll be good. Yeah. So time to network. And the network that you all have is also right here. All of us here have different resources. Leave me your phone number and then keep in touch with anyone who wants to connect with. Okay? Carlyn, back to you.
Okay. David, I'm seeing that if I have any good ones to respond. Yeah, some girls, like some of them that I'm looking right now, I can check with them if they're the caliber to refer people. I can share the contact over. Just because they are like uni undergrads, right? So I don't know if they are willing. Like they will know lah, then they will tell me whether it. And then for marketing interns, right? Usually most of the time, the posters are done by myself. I enjoy the process of designing. It's just it takes up a lot. Most of the posters are actually done by I done it on my. And then again, it's the same interns that I'm working with. Like if it's marketing, staff image, it will be this group of people. If it's TikTok video, it will be this group of people. One way I think it would really help most of these interns and undergrads, right? They are actually the teachers that from the previous center that I'm working. So I think for you guys, since so many of you long-term, you actually can really stay in touch with your ex-students. You will never know what course they are studying in. And since they are your ex-students, they are very willing. And in fact, the best group of students will be the ex. The moment they finish their O-levels, they can come in and be teaching assistants. One thing I always share with the parents is if I keep all these after O-level students with me, we are their influence already. They will not go out. Like, it's good that they are going out to work, but a lot of them, you don't know what kind of people that they're hanging with. So a lot of parents, they rather that all these students are working with me instead also actually.
So one of the ways is to keep in touch and also reconnect with your ex-students. There are some places where they actually get to come back to be admin of the center or help with the admin work as well. I think this is also about delegating, hiring, which you can consider, and you can also do it even though you are a solopreneur. It's important to know how to hire part-timers. And it need not be locals, it can be foreigners as well. You can go to onlinejobs.ph, many there who are very dedicated. My assistants are from there.
Sorry, I want to help social enterprise to advertise a bit. If you are looking
Go ahead,
for
go ahead.
admin, they actually have people in other Asian countries, like for example, India, Indonesia and all. They are full-time admin. It's just what kind of work are you giving them? They're probably be some simpler workload. But 1 month, we are probably talking about like $300. If you are looking for full-time admin, you all need someone to maybe help you type out your worksheets or something that is simple admin job. Yeah, if you're interested, you all can connect with me. I can share with your social enterprise.
Okay, if you got more information, you'll send to me. I can do a broadcast. Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, anything else, Carlyn?
Don't think so.
Got it. All right. Okay, basically, before I do a wrap up, anybody else got any question? Okay, any more question? You can all ask in the group. Yeah, because most of them are tutors. Now the WhatsApp group has been called Tutor Connect, and that one you can find in a WhatsApp group, and it's called Tutor Connect. Okay, today I think there are many ways to get leads. Yeah, and I think the bottom line is every method works. True, every method works. Yeah, you need to find what works for you. Like referral, it works. It's been working for the longest time. I've been doing ads for the past 20 years. I'm still doing it. What else? Getting referral, building community, it still works. We are social creatures. That's how we connect. And then that's why we are all here. Yeah. So you have to go and ask yourself, like, what works for you? And you need not spend a lot of time. You just look at what is working for you. Jo said referral has been helping her to get students. So that's the thing to double down on.
Referral depends on how you actually spread.
You want to share
I-
more?
One thing I want to share is I think I learned from the younger people. A lot of them are doing posters using this software called Canvas. And I tried it myself. I actually designed my own name card using that. It's actually quite pretty. You can actually decorate and you can just use the basic free version if good enough. I think. So that's something that I've explored and I think it works.
Got it. Thanks so much for sharing, Jo.
Yeah, and if you want to print name cards that is like cheaper, I think some of the industrial estates, they do have printing companies. Some of them, the smaller ones, they can actually do at a lower cost compared to those that's more reputable ones. So you can still get pretty good name cards from.
Got it. Thanks for the resources, Jo. Okay, before I end off, just one last thing from me. There need not be only one way that you get leads. You can have 2 to 3 ways. For example, 20% of your students can come from referral. Then maybe 30% come from PS. Then other ways, for other half, then you find other ways to bring them in. Yeah, so that you have more than one to generate leads and you not just count one way. Because what if their method stops or didn't work so well because of that season of that year? Then you have other ways to still bring you leads.